Okay, you may begin, Andres.
A car battery doesn't care about your feelings, it doesn't care about your time, and it doesn't care about your money at all. All it takes is a light to be on overnight, and in the morning, your car's dead. I was going up Interstate 37 to San Antonio when I stopped at a gas station, and a girl came up to me and asked if I could help jumpstart her car. I mean, I had cables, right? I said sure, but I didn't know how. So when I ended up doing it, sparks went everywhere. To be able to jumpstart a car, you're going to need, first of all, some jumper cables, gloves, and eyewear are optional, but they're very highly recommended. In a research note by the Department of Transportation in 1997, it stated that over 70% of injuries that had to do with jumping a vehicle actually hurt a person's eyes. I don't know about you, but I'm blind enough as it is. You're also going to need a good Samaritan. What good does all that equipment do for you if you don't have anyone to help you jump your car? Now, it's important you practice safety when doing it. You have to be very careful when you have the negative and the positive clamps. If they end up connecting to each other while the other ends are connected to a vehicle, it can end up short-circuiting a battery. And that means 2 dead cars. You also want to watch out for cracks and leaks. According to Chris Harsley with the Kelley Blue Book, in an article given in 2023, it stated that cracks and leaks can actually leak out some corrosive materials, and when you start jumping the car, it can actually explode. So another bad thing, do you want no car at all? It'd be better to just buy a new battery. It could range you about $250 more or less, depending on the model. Now, last but not least, the order in which you do things is imperative. You don't want to be like silly me, connecting, oh, these two look like they go here, right? First, you're going to locate the battery. In some newer models, the battery can actually be located inside the vehicle or in the trunk. You also want to park close so that you don't impair other vehicles from being able to pass by, and that way the cables aren't too far away from each other. Last but not least, you're going to turn off the vehicle, and although some newer models don't let you turn off the AC and radio unless the vehicle is on, older models do let you with some buttons and flips that they have. So if you can, do it. If you can't, then it's all right. You also want to make sure that the battery terminals don't have any corrosion. If they do, you can brush it away. That's why we have these gloves right here. Just try not to touch it with your bare hand. Now the part we've all been waiting for, how to actually jump the car. You're going to go ahead and connect the clamps. The first one you're going to go ahead and do is going to be this positive one right here. Remember, red equals positive, black equals negative. You're going to connect the red clamp to the dead vehicle first. Then you're going to go ahead and move to the positive one and the other negative one. You're going to connect the positive one first to the vehicle that is alive, and then the negative one to that same vehicle. The terminals can be located with that same positive signal and then the black side. Finally, you're going to go ahead and go back to the dead vehicle and connect the black clamp. This isn't going to be going into the terminal. This is going to go to a bare piece of metal. The terminal is a last resort because it could actually release a gas that, when connected, can cause the battery to explode. And finally, start your engine. We're going to go ahead and start the engine of the living vehicle and let it run for about some 5 to 10 minutes. After that time, you're going to go ahead and try to start the dead vehicle. If it doesn't start, it's okay. Just give it some more time. Hopefully you don't need a new battery. Once the vehicle starts, you're going to go ahead and repeat the same steps of the clamps, but in reverse order. You're going to start with the bare metal one, removing it, then going back to the one that was originally alive, the donator. You're going to remove the black clamp first. After that, you're going to proceed with that same vehicle and get the red clamp off. Then you're going to go back to the vehicle that was originally dead and remove the red lamp. After you do that, make sure to let that vehicle run for 15 to 20 minutes, and if possible, drive around in it. If not, then it's okay. This is just to make sure that it doesn't immediately die after this. And then you can also go to O'Reilly's or AutoZone to check your diagnostics and see if you need a new battery or if it just needed a charge. Knowing how to jumpstart a vehicle can save you a lot of time, money, and stress.